One thing about living in a railroad town, which is the ghost town along the railroad spurs, when they started to close down the railroads and they go out to pick people up and take them to work in 1945, these towns just disappeared. And not where I live, there's a whole bunch of them. They're still on the map. There's Crane and Osceola and Cumberland and Selleck and Franklin, but most of the towns are gone. I live in Vesey. Most exciting thing that happens to us in Vesey is one morning I woke up and the neighbor's cows were in my yard, so I chased the cows home. Later in that day, that same neighbor had a big problem. You know, I was out working in my garden and there was a huge explosion. I turned around and there was fire coming up over the back of his house. So all of the neighbors, there's 8 houses left in Vesey. We all ran down to see what was going on. He comes out and says, "I'm all right. I'm all right." What he'd done was he scraped all the shingles off of his house, which were cedar, piled them in the backyard, dumped $5 5 gallons of gas on it, lit it, threw it out there, which caused the explosion. You can't do that. It just going to do a terrible thing. So he was fine until the fire department got there from Cumberland, and then he wasn't fine. Okay, but this is about living in a railroad town. You may think that it's long ago, but I can still see the black smoke roll. Back before 1959, back before they tore out the railroad lines. It used to be there was timber here, so we took our teams to the woods and cleared enough to keep all of our debts on time. Back before they tore out the railroad lines, before the big trucks and the highways, the world came down those tracks in my day. Life was a little different in my prime, back before they tore out the railroad lines. We used to be a thriving railroad town, with our own post office and kids running around. There was brand new houses and one was mine, back before we tore out the railroad lines. But one day all of the timber's gone. When the profits die, it don't take long to board up the windows and tear down the signs, then to tear out all of those railroad